Let's talk about the undefeated Russian grappler Movsar Evloev, who basically did the job that everybody in the building thought that he was going to do, man. He came in and he didn't force the takedown, which I think is the improving evolution of the Movsar Evloevs. I talked before, when he fought Mike Grundy, man, he didn't need to go in and take shots like that because he said, well, that's what Mike Grundy wants me to do, so I'm going to have to win this fight in the stand-up. I was not confident that he could win the fight in the stand-up with Dan Ige, but he did a pretty damn good job. But clearly, the real bread and butter came in. Let me zap the energy. Let me hang on top of him, make him carry my weight, and basically just win an easy 30-27 across the board. He even got a 30-26. That's kind of how dominant that he was, and land a little pot shot. So how much do these pot shots mean to you, AJ? Because the final numbers on the board, 144 total strikes to 47 in favor of Movsar Evloev. This was obviously a big deal, right? But I feel like we can take a little bit away knowing that these weren't all just like, I'm swinging and banging. These were a lot of little pot shots. So what do you make of that?
A lot of little pot shots. And if you've ever been hit by them with those four knuckles, those ones at the end, they don't hurt the same way a normal punch hurts, but they sting and they're very annoying. They're a pain in the ass, and it's one of those ones where you keep getting tagged and you're like, God damn it, like stop, bro, cut. Like you're not hurting me, but you're hurting me. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just annoying, making it more difficult. It's kind of more of a mind game than anything. You're not gonna get put to sleep by them, but it is something you need to address and stop and fight off the submission, man. Great classic fight by Evloev. I mean, not really. What can you do when the guy's this good and on the ground, and then he shows up in those first couple rounds and he's striking, looking fluid, slipping, ripping. This dude has a lot of potential, and he's 16-0, something like that. Like whatever 16-0 the record is now for Evloev. Man, very impressive win. I'm excited to see who they're going to pair this dude up next with. Is there anyone you can see on the top of your mind besides that top five of the 145 that really is going to give Evloev a whole bunch of problems, Derek? Or is this dude top material right away? You know?
No, brother. I don't really see too many people giving him too many problems. And that's the big thing is that we've been saying this for months now. I feel like this is going to be the future champion one day. It's just a matter of how many steps is he going to take before he gets that opportunity right now? I do love that he said, I'm tired of fighting no-name fighters. Dan Ige is not a no-name fighter, so I don't know where that's coming from. But he said, I want the Arnold Allens of the world, which is actually funny because I was talking to one of my buddies and I was just like, hey, man, this is right after the fight. I was all like, this was a big win, but I'd like to see him fight a Giga Chikadze or a Arnold Allen. And then he calls out Arnold Allen, and I was like, okay, that's the right path to be taking. Now, I think Arnold Allen is a less lucrative fight for him because it's not the stylistic difference as a Giga Chikadze. He could knock your whole entire head off, knock your liver off your body. You know what I'm saying? Arnold Allen, great swing and bang fighter, but it's more grappler versus grappler, right? So we want to see those stylistic differences that make the fight really interesting. Either way, I wanted to take a look really quickly, man, because going into this fight, AJ, Evloev, he held the record for the 7th most takedowns, right, in the featherweight division. Actively. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm just trying to take a look real fast. So I'm actually going to pull this up. We're going to find Movsar Evloev for his takedowns. And let's see what we got here. Because he has a lot of records on the board now. He didn't going into this fight, but after the fight, he does. So what's most takedowns landed? Okay, he moved from 7 to 4, brother. Just like that, man. Just like that. So let's see. So the folks at home can see it too. There we go. All right, so what you're going to see is Movsar Evloev is number 4 in takedowns landed. The number 1 leader is Darren Elkins, then Andre Fili. Makwan Amirkhani, Zabit Magomed Sharapov, and then Movsar Evloev. Then Frankie Edgar, Charles Oliveira, Charles Rosa, Bryce Mitchell. What a list to be in, brother. And that's kind of the whole point right there is that Evloev, with 9 takedowns landed against Dan Ige, brother, he just instilled his will at any given point. So, I mean, what can you say about this fight, man? What does this do? Let me ask you on the opposite side. We're talking about how good Evloev is. We know how good he is. We know how good that he has the potential to become. We know he can become a champion, especially with these 5-round fights. But against Dan Ige, man, I mean, this is lost 3 in a row for Ige? Like, this is not where you want your career to be headed. But then again, you have to ask yourself the question of, how do you walk into a mismatch like this with all the confidence that you're going to win, and then you get thoroughly outclassed, like everybody imagined? Like, stylistically, I just felt like for Ige, you shouldn't be like, let me take the hardest, worst matchup fight ever, or let me stick around in the UFC a little bit longer. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to get cut, but this was just a terrible decision off the bat, right?
Well, this goes exactly against what Uncle Chael preaches every single day, man. He's literally taking the hardest fights, not at the top premier, location, and probably not getting paid the best for it. So it's it's rough for Ige because this is the 50K Ige, man. This guy's getting bonuses all the time. He should be strictly a pay-per-view fighter, taking opponents that are catered to him, man, making him stay around a little longer. Maybe he gets a little heat for that, but either way, he's feeding his family. So I think this is an oversight for the Ige team and a rough loss for him as well, man.
Absolutely, brother. So big win by Movsar Evloev.